Hello everyone and welcome to Crosses Gaming. Today we will be taking a look at BIOS, a new first-person shooter based around speedrunning. The game was developed by Pixel and is available on Steam for €14.99 or your regional equivalent. Let's jump straight into it. As most of you will know, the game's name comes from an acronym, Basic Input Output System, and the whole game style is based around some PC related things. For instance, the name of the first level is RTFM, aka Read the Fucking Manual, and some other levels are named after computer viruses and such other stuff. The game puts you into simulated environments which you must get through as fast as possible without dying. This might seem like a simple task, but in higher difficulties the game's difficulty rises rapidly and forces you to be very careful with every step you take. The concept of the game may be pretty simple, but it's very satisfying as the gameplay feels quite nice and even repeating the levels feels fun because you can explore a different strategy every time, improving your time as you go. The game has 3 basic modes. First one is called Strike. This is the basic speedrunning mode where you have to learn the level perfectly and have great reaction times and ideally perfect aim. This will probably be the place where most of people will spend most of their time. This mode is then divided between 4 difficulties, starting with normal and going up to extreme. And I can honestly tell, even the normal difficulty isn't exactly a breeze if you want to get gold medals on these. The second mode is named Anomaly, with 3 difficulties this time. In this mode you will encounter a huge number of zombies which you may choose to ignore at your own risk, as the zombies will try to eat you alive. But if you manage to navigate your way through them, you will be able to get a much better time for the leaderboards. And the last mode is co-op, where you can engage in the previous modes with your friends. I might be sounding a bit enthusiastic at this point, but there are certainly issues with the game. I've experienced quite a number of frame rate drops here and there are parts of the game that seem unfinished, like descriptions of a few levels, but these little missing things don't really take away from the enjoyment of the game, and the FPS drops do. And since the game is already released on Steam, this really shouldn't be the case. And there is one more issue I have with the game. It may sound small, but it's quite annoying. The game is super loud, almost painfully loud. Playing the game at 10% of its maximum volume was still pretty loud, but this seems like an issue that could be pretty easily fixed with a quick patch. The other gripe I have with the game is that movement seems a bit floaty. I understand that this is probably on purpose, but I personally would enjoy much more precise movement, especially in a game like this where the whole point is to complete the levels as quickly as possible, and every little movement can and will prolong the time you need it to best the level. On the other hand, gunplay feels great. Firing the gun has serious weight to it and the weapon still remains precise. Weapons have 3 modes to use: full automatic, burst and single shot, through which you can scroll using the wheel on your mouse. The other thing that pleasantly surprised me was the graphical fidelity of the game. The game is built in Unreal Engine 4 and for the most part it uses it very well. While the textures aren't exactly AAA quality, the price of the game isn't in the AAA sphere either. The only thing I wish for is that the automated weapons waiting for you through the levels would be slightly more highlighted, but I do understand that this is again a deliberate decision from the devs. Now we should take a quick look onto the option menus. They are separated into 3 sections, first being general. Here you can find the options for the languages, a few HUD options, 2 audio sliders, one for music and one for the sound effects, whether you want voice chat to be active in co-op, and 3 different choices for a crosshair. The second category is all about graphics. There are plenty of settings here, nothing is really missing, but the options themselves could have a little bit more description to them, perhaps even some information on how each individual settings affects the game performance. And the last category is called Input. And as you have might guessed, it deals with your input settings. Everything from your mouse sensitivity through the toggle mode of crouching and aiming up to the keybinds can be found here. The last thing I want to talk about is the game's performance. The game has been sitting comfortably at more than 150 FPS for me at almost all times, most of the time being at 100 FPS and more. That makes the occasional drops in FPS that much more irritating. Hope they fix them soon. In conclusion, the game is fun, quick-paced and very addictive. I highly recommend it for anyone who enjoys first-person shooters or speedrunning. And if you enjoy both, this may just be a match made in heaven for you. Well, That's it for today, guys. Subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, and see you all next time with more gaming content.